Okay, folks, I am not super equipped at the moment to deal with lighting, so we're gonna try and make the most of this. I'm gonna try to not sit in the way of my light because I don't have a lamp. That's at school. So, colored pencils, there's a lot you can do with them. I have a big pack of well, I've several big packs of Prismacolor pencils, which are, the sophisticated, good type of color pencil, but, Crayola is just as well. Oddly enough, I don't have Crayola pencils here. They're all at school because those are school pencils. I have my own color pencils, so obviously I can spend a little bit more money on my own stuff. Just playing around today with, well, really tonight because it's like almost 11. Playing around with colored pencil, and there have been these really beautiful, I guess they're called saucer magnolia trees. I guess that's the correct terminology for them. But what I'm sketching with, like when you go to do colored pencil, the best thing, and this is really with any media except for like doing graphite, is you kind of want to work in the medium that you're going to be working in. And don't be afraid to make mistakes because you could always go over them later. So I just wanted to show you a couple of different things that you can do with them. So I'm just kind of messing around with a sketch or two of these beautiful magnolia leaves. I tried to get a really nice picture of them. My neighbor next door has two different ones. She's got a saucer magnolia, which is a beautiful pink one. Kind of like a cherry blossom, but they're like, the petals are just big and gorgeous, and they're like, I'm not gonna say tulips, because that would be incorrect, but they do have like the big voluptuous petals, kind of like a tulip. And she's got white magnolias. So I'm just gonna throw a quick sketch out there to show you some techniques. I've pre-sharpened my colored pencil with my handy dandy Prismacolor pencil sharpener, but it is old, so the blade's not so great anymore, so my tips are not so awesome. Once it gets low again, I'm probably going to, use my X-Acto blade to really sharpen it nicely. It's just a nice technique to use to sharpen your pencils if you are using colored pencils or charcoal pencils or even graphite pencils. So one of the things that you can do with colored pencil is you can blend it, not unlike watercolor pencil, but instead of using water, you can use different types of material, like rubbing alcohol, or you can use Vaseline or baby oil. I would do Vaseline, but I might have to do a second demo later with that. But it's in my daughter's room. I forgot to grab it. So I'm going to do just baby oil and rubbing alcohol tonight. And notice that like when I color with my color pencil, and you can't see very well, I'm using cream because, you want to start light and work your way into dark, because you can always go darker. Once you lay down color pencil, like there's no going back. And I don't, as much as as much as I have these colored pencils, I don't work in them very often, oddly enough. The reason I have so many is because my husband and I first started dating. He was in the Navy and really wanted me to send him some artwork. And I was obsessed with the Prismacolors at the time because that's what we started using in high school. Because my art teacher was awesome and got us some. And so with that, he was trying to woo me, and he bought me all of these Prismacolor pencils. I actually have like a really nice big set that includes like art sticks, which don't have the wood around them, and watercolor. They're watercolor versions. So yeah, I am trying to keep the same pressure for right now, but as I get closer to the bottom here, I'm definitely going to add more pressure. So just like graphite, like the more pressure you use, the more fuller the hue will become. Kind of blending these in. And see, this is what's great about Prismacolors, is they blend really nicely. But they do sell this really fantastic blending colored pencil that you can use to blend your colors better. And I had one at one point in time. My kit does not come with one. The one I'm using is the it is the 120. So I have the 120 kit out, not my big beautiful mahogany wood encased ones, but there's 120 different colors. Alright, so I'm just kind of adding a little bit of lightness because, you know, just like in painting, nothing is really pure white in nature. You'll use that for like your highlights or whatever, but nothing's pure white. So I've got that. I'm gonna do the same over here. And then we're gonna play around with what it looks like to add rubbing alcohol to colored pencil. And this is just in my sketch pad, so I'm not married to it. Like, I'm not gonna freak out over it if something happens and it doesn't work out right, or I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, it's fine. It's whatever. Put a little bit more pressure on this one because it's closed. Just trying to make sure that you're seeing what I'm doing here. Moving my hand back on the colored pencil so that I can establish some more pressure without cramping up my hand. Trying to stick with keeping it in one direction. Obviously, it's a sketch pad, so it's got some cushion, and I don't have to worry about, you know, the grain of the wood or the fake wood, in this case, of my desk, picking up textures I don't want. Another handy trick that I was trying to teach some of my 8th graders before we left with the color pencil technique was, you know, stick a magazine under it. Stick your folder under it. Alright, so we'll save this top one for Vaseline later. Which, I don't know, yeah, you can see it. It's just dark. Alright, so I have just regular rubbing alcohol. Typically use it for, you know, cleaning wounds and things. It's an antiseptic. That is the only kind of alcohol I recommend using under the provision of your folks. So we're going to use that one on the big one, and honestly, I think I'm going to go ahead and I have these wonderful little there. Okay, I have these wonderful little guys that can keep mixed paint. Probably bought it at one of the craft stores, thinking I was going to do something where I needed to keep my paint, but that'll make it easier to mess with the rubbing alcohol. All right, so I've dumped some rubbing alcohol in there, and I've got my paintbrush, and I'm going to start small because it's been a moment since I've done this. And I'm going to add some to my brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and lightly apply my computer's making a bunch of noise, sorry guys. And I'll lightly apply this rubbing alcohol to my magnolia petals, and you can see there's like a little bit of blending that's going on with it. Nothing huge, nothing major, just a little bit to kind of smooth out those lines. Make it a little less gritty. I also don't have a lot of color either. I only use 2. So it might be a little harder to see what it's doing. Other than maybe making the paper wet. But it has more of an effect when you have more colors. So there's that. And give it time to dry. Mark it with a pen or something. I don't know if it'll stay. A Sharpie up here. Nope. Alright, moving on. The next thing I have is baby oil. I don't think people actually use this on their children anymore. I don't even know what it's used for. I did not buy it to put on my child. Let me just tell you that. I bought it for something else. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my other little container. It looks remarkably like the rubbing alcohol. It's clear. All right, different brush. Nope, not that one. That one. Okay. So different brush, baby oil. This blends it a lot more because it's like when you are using your fingers to blend charcoal or to blend pastel or graphite. Like, you leave your natural oils behind when you use your fingers, which is why sometimes I ask you, hey guys, you sure you don't want to use a paper towel? Because you might not want that effect. But the baby oil and the Vaseline will be very similar. The baby oil really spreads it around, really makes it vibrant, really pops it out. And that's kind of how you can mess with color pencils and make them a little bit more like your watercolor pencils. If you have watercolor pencils at home instead of regular color pencils, like, by all means, use those and use those and just add water instead of any of these techniques, because you are going to be able to kind of blend them together in a way that you're really going to want to, versus just leaving them plain as colored pencils. Well, as watercolor pencils, because watercolor pencils, like, if you don't add water to them or you don't use water, they look very bland and pastel and boring. You know, you won't ever, no matter how much pressure you put on them, you will never get the vibrant color that you're looking for. It just won't happen because you need to add water. So I'm going to go ahead and play around a little bit with my branch so it's not bare. And color pencils, like, the goal is to put the colors kind of next to each other versus blending on top. But this is why you have that beautiful, like, ability to add different media to your media in order to bring those colors out vibrantly. If I thought I could sneak in her room and not wake her up, I would totally go get the Vaseline right now, but I'm not going to do that. I don't want to deal. So, yep. All right, there is your minor colored pencil demo that you can use if you are utilizing color pencil for your sketches. You can add those techniques and try some things out. See what you got floating around in your medicine cabinet. I'm pretty sure I just pulled out. That is not the color I thought it was. Well, that makes it interesting, doesn't it? Black grape. I thought I was looking at a burnt umber. I picked a black grape. That's fine. Yep, and I can tell which one's which by the smell. Baby oil's got that real powdery smell to it. See, it's got a purplish hue. Oh well. Just blend it in anyway. It's a sketch and a demo, who cares? It's the thing though with baby oil, is you put too much on your brush and you color outside of your line, it's going to leave a grease spot. Alright, there you go, as promised. Color pencil technique. This is baby oil on colored pencil. This one, yes, I'm just drawing my drawing just so you know what it is. Rubbing alcohol, which the fancy term for it is isopropyl. Propyl. Bleh. So this one later will be Vaseline. All right. Thanks for tuning in.